S.S.S. Shalach, Tov Shin, Pei Daled. Baruch Hashem, we have an unusually large crowd here tonight, so we're going to try to get everybody to just keep it down while we give our weekly shir, Nesivos Shalom, the beautiful lessons we learned from Nesivos Shalom. And it's very interesting that everybody has like their parshias in the Torah that interests them, that they find fascinating. I don't know why, but I've always found Parshat Shalach, this whole episode, this whole thing about the Meraglim, I always found it very, very fascinating. I don't know, it was always a very, it could be I was enamored by Parshat Shalach, it was always maybe the last week of school, and I was just happy inside that we were finishing, whether it was in those days. Today, Baruch Hashem, the Olam learns right through the summer, but those days we finished our Hebrew and English. Everything was always finished at the same time. It was always last week of school. It could be, but it was a very, very interesting parsha to me. And really, the parsha begins speaking about the Meraglim who went in to spy on Eretz Yisrael before Klal Yisrael would enter the land of Eretz Yisrael. So they really wanted to go in and see, what are we going to find over there? What are we going to see over there? What are we up against? What are we going to face? And of course, so much is learned from our parsha regarding Lashon Hara, speaking negatively about things. I mean, think about it for a second, right? Sometimes you're in a situation where you're speaking about people, and everybody today, Baruch Hashem, has a great awareness about Lashon Hara, Rechilas, and all of that, but we generally identify Lashon Hara is speaking about other people, speaking negatively of other people, reminding people of negative things that they may have done. Today, Lashon Hara is in speech, in pictures, in whatever it is, Lashon Hara affecting people. But look what's going on over here. We're talking about Eretz Yisrael, and so much is learned about saying a negative word about something which is really inanimate. It's a land. What is Eretz Yisrael? Eretz Yisrael is a very holy land, but it's not something we would think of as a person with feelings, someone that would answer back, someone that would feel bad, and yet the Torah teaches us that you don't say a negative word about anything. And the Meraglim came back, they went into Eretz Yisrael, and they looked around, and they came back, and I want to tell you the pasuk, what the pasuk tells us they said, and this is very, very interesting, because they began by saying, Banu el ha'aretz asher shalachtanu. We arrived, we came to the land which you sent us. They went into Eretz Yisrael, and now they start to describe, V'gam, Zovas, Chalav, U'devash. It's a land that's flowing with milk and honey. Right? The Zepiriyah, and these are the fruits of Eretz Yisrael. And then they mention, S.S.S.S. Kiyaza Ama Yeshev Ba'aretz. You should just know that the land, that the people in the land are very, very strong. The Ha'orim B'tzurais Kedalos, the cities are fortified. B'tzurais Kedalos Ma'oid. And not only that, we saw not just regular people, but we saw giants. We saw very, very powerful people. And basically, the Meraglim came back, and they came to say negative things about Eretz Yisrael. And the Mepharshim speak at great length about this. Why? Whether it was because they felt insecure, whether they felt that when they got to Eretz Yisrael their job would be over. Many different ways of looking at this. But suffice it to say that they were saying, they wanted to come and say very negative things about Eretz Yisrael. So the question is, I just read to you the pasuk of what the Meraglim said about Eretz Yisrael. And how did they start the pasuk? They say, Banu el ha'aretz asher shalachtanu. We came to the land that which you sent us. And what's the first thing they said? V'gam, Zovas, Chalav, U'devash. They began their speech about everything they saw on Eretz Yisrael with something fantastic about Eretz Yisrael. You ever see a land before that's flowing with milk and honey and whatever that, everything everything that comes along with that, that's a fantastic, wonderful, beautiful thing about Eretz Yisrael. And that's how they started. They started talking the shvach, the praise of Eretz Yisrael. But here they want to speak negative. And the first thing they say is that Eretz Yisrael is an Eretz Zavas, Chalav U'Devash, until we came into the land and we found it to be unbelievable. Eretz Zavas, Chalav U'Devash. So Rashi, we know, Rashi says his famous answer. Rashi bavorns this kasha. And when you learn Rashi, you realize that this was Rashi's question. Rashi gives his famous answer to this question, that he says that someone who wants to say a bunch of lies, right? Somebody wants to lie about a subject. He wants to lie about something. If he wants his lies to be accepted, says Rashi, you can't say only lies. You gotta throw in something of a little bit truth. If you throw in a little bit truth, then you make people's ears, people perk up a little bit, and they're listening, and then you can throw in all your garbage, you can throw in all the lies. But if you just speak shtusim, you speak things that are totally not true, no one is going to believe anything yourself. So Rashi says that's why they threw in V'gam, it was an Eretz Zavas Chalav U'Devash, so people should be tuned in to stick in a little bit truth to make anything that they're saying that it should be believed at all. But Nesivos Shalom wants to answer this question about saying Eretz Zavas Chalav U'Devash al pi derech ha'avoda, the way the Nesivos Shalom answered, with a tremendous lesson for every one of us. And he says like this: the Meraglim, we all know, or at least we should know, is that they weren't some scandal people. The Meraglim, kulam anashim rashei b'nei Yisrael hema. The Meraglim were great people. They were the top people in the nation. Let's not make any mistake about that. Let's understand first what type of people and who we are talking about. Meraglim come into Eretz Yisrael, and they see this land of Eretz Yisrael. Even every one of us, even, that goes to Eretz Yisrael, and every one of us that loves to go to Eretz Yisrael, one of the things that strikes every person the most is the vast and deep beauty, aesthetic, physical beauty of Eretz Yisrael. Meraglim come into Eretz Yisrael, and they see this land that's exceedingly beautiful physically. Literally, Eretz Zavas Chalav U'Devash. And says in Nesivos Shalom that it's Davka for that reason that the Meraglim felt that it's not a place that Bnei Yisrael, it's not a good place Bnei Yisrael should go into. It's not good for the Ruchnius of Klal Yisrael. Too much beautiful Gashmius. There's too much there, and it strikes you right in the face as soon as you get there. Not like you have to look for the Gashmias. It's right there. It's flowing with milk and honey and everything that comes along with that. The Meraglim saw that, and they saw that as, not that they were saying one shvach in the pasuk and the rest negative. They saw that idea also as a negative idea. Too much Gashmias, and they won't know how to handle it. They were mistaken about that. They were mistaken to think that. But that is what the Meraglim thought. He said, look at the taivas achila that there's going to be over here. There's so many gorgeous, beautiful crops, fruit. Look at all that. It's going to be a tremendous taivas achila at Eretz Yisrael. And then, after they said that, they followed that up with everything else they wanted to say negative about Eretz Yisrael. They said that there are giants there, we won't be able to fight them. Amalek is there, the 7 nations are there, all of these things, all the klipos and all the problems. You know why we can't fight Amalek there? You know why we can't fight the 7 nations there? It all stems from this problem, the abundance of toiv, the abundance of Gashmias, the abundance of Shefa. Not everybody knows how to handle that. Not everybody knows to do the right thing with so much good. And really, more than any other place on earth, Eretz Yisrael would have that challenge. And the Meraglim were saying that if Bnei Yisrael go into Eretz Yisrael in this situation, they're going to sink. They will not be able to handle it. They would succumb to every Yetzer Hara. You have everything so good, so much luxury, so much beauty. They're going to fall. They're going to succumb to the Yetzer Hara. They don't have the strength to withstand that Nisoyan. And it was the opposite of the Nisoyan. They say, okay, in Mitzrayim, Klal Yisrael had the Nisoyan of poverty. They were poor. They were being made to work. They had no money. That Nisoyan, maybe Klal Yisrael learned how to handle that Nisoyan. But when they come to Eretz Yisrael, they're going to have this other Nisoyan. They're going to have the Nisoyan of Ashirus and plenty. And they would not be able to handle or overcome that. So when they said that the land of Eretz Yisrael was of Aschalov, it wasn't the Mila for them at all. They weren't extolling Milas of Eretz Yisrael. It was another negative thing, and because of that, we should remain in the Midbar, they say. Do not going into Eretz Yisrael. But says the Nesivos Shalom, a beautiful thing. This was really a very, very big mistake on their part. Says in Nesivos Shalom, Hashem made us. Hashem made all of us beautiful things in this world. And Hashem put them there for us to enjoy. Enjoy it. But Hashem put it there that we should learn another Milah. We should learn the Milah of self-control. We should know when to say, it's enough. The idea is not always to say, oh, it's Gashmias, I'm running away. Hashem put beautiful things here to enjoy, to tour, to look, to see, to appreciate, to taste, all these things that are beautiful. But Hashem also wants us to earn the schar of having self-control, of saying this is okay, but a little bit more is not okay. Hashem wants us to create an abode for Hashem, for the Shekhinah, where? On this earth. An earth that's full of Gashmias and all the beautiful things that Hashem has created. Hashem told us He wants to be v'shachanti v'soicham. Hashem wants to be here in this world of Gashmias, because we have to learn how to handle plenty. We have to learn how to handle Gashmias. And the Baraglim thought that we cannot stand up to that challenge. But Hashem feels otherwise. And really, this is how we earn our schar. This is how we earn our keep in this world. Moshe Rabbeinu said in the pasuk, Hashmeina hi imraza. Go into Eretz Yisrael and see if it's a land of plenty or a land of very little, a land of famine. What Moshe Rabbeinu was saying says in the Nesivos Shalom, Hashmeina hi imraza. They're going to go into Eretz Yisrael. Let's go see what the Nisoyan is. Not that we can't handle it. Hashmeinahi, will it be a Nisoyan of Ashirus? Will it be a Nisoyan of plenty? Imraza, or are they going to have the Nisoyan of the opposite of Ashirus? Are they going to have the Nisoyan of being poor? But either way, Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, go see which Nisoyan it is. But Moshe Rabbeinu was telling us, Hashmeina hi imraza, but either way, you can handle it. Either way, you're going to overcome the Nisoyan, and you're going to get schar for that. And really, there really is no other generation. There's no generation throughout history of Klal Yisrael which has that challenge like our generation. Today we live in a generation of plenty, of more funds and luxury than ever in the history of Klal Yisrael, in the history of the world. And what Hashem is telling us is, I put it there for you to enjoy. I'm giving you shefa, I'm giving you bracha, but know how to handle it. Know when to say no. Know when to say it's too much. Know when to say enough is enough. And that is the lesson of this week's parsha. The Nisoyan of Ashiras. The Meraglim thought we can't handle it. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, of course we can handle it. Just do the right thing with it.